welcome to our new semester. Welcome to BIO409 or BIO509 undergrad or grad level course. And I'm going to add a link here. It's going to have the link to this recording I'm doing right now, because I'm going to talk through the syllabus now, and that'll be available on Brightspace, both the syllabus and this talk. For the whole semester. And so I do this instead of spending time talking about it in class. And so let me just talk through the highlights of this, and if you have questions about it any time during the semester, just let me know. So there's our class meeting like that, meeting time and location. This is me. The best way to contact me is by email. I'm around all the time, but I'm running around, and so it's kind of pointless to call me in my office. And it's also kind of pointless to try to come and find me because I'm just moving around. And so the best thing is to send me an email and suggest a couple of times when we could meet. I do have office hours, but I don't sit down during them. I'm moving around. And you can find me there if you look in my research lab at that time. But generally, I just don't wait for you. I expect that you'll set up a meeting time with me. So just do that, and and that's that. You'll see that our course uses some technology, and if the technology fails, like the computer gets stolen or broken, well, we might have to change. And of course, we're using Brightspace, and so on and so forth. Then here's a description of the course. Here's the key thing for me is I super love these topics. Cell molecular biologist is what I am, and this is certainly my favorite stuff. So take a look at that, and then here's our textbook. I already posted this on Brightspace, the textbook we're going to use, and you really need to get a textbook because some of the exam questions come from the textbook, and then we just didn't have a chance to cover them in class. Then here's the course format, and there's a good chance that if you've never had a class with me before, you've never seen this before, and that is there are two requirements, and you're not graded on them. They're just a requirement, and one is that you have to try to come to this class. It's an in-person course, but you'll miss some classes. Your car won't start, or you'll be sick, and you don't have to tell me when you miss. Here's what happens: is my goal is, and that's part of the technology that I use, is I record each class meeting, and after the class meeting, I post it on YouTube, and after days, I delete it. And during that time, if you missed class, you have to take notes and send me pictures of your notes within that time period. You can't do it later at the end of the thing. And that's what I call participation. Participation doesn't mean you're asking questions. It means either you're in class, and I take, I send around an attended sign-up sheet. So you're either in class or you have to take notes. It's not good enough to just rely on a classmate's notes or just blow off the class. Each time we have a class meeting there, we're covering, points on the exams like that. Questions are going to be on the exam. And you got to keep up. And even if you're sick, well, you have a week, to take time to get that done. And if you don't do that, you could get a lower grade. It's just a requirement. You're not graded, it's just a requirement. And similarly, class attendance is required. You don't have to come to all the classes. It's understood you'll miss some. If you miss, you have to keep up with this. But you also have to try to get to class. It didn't become an online course when I started recording it. We're going to be doing stuff in class. And you could also get a lower grade if you don't attend classes. If you get in a jam and you're going to miss a bunch of classes because you've got a bad sickness or some other issues pop up, you need to tell me, and you need to tell me before the end of the semester, or tell me when it's happening, and we'll work out a plan, okay? And so all of this is just to try to help you get as much opportunity to learn as we can. And again, you're not graded on that. That's just how our course is set up. All right. So then here's the next thing, and I'll talk a lot about in class over the semester about how I grade. Here's the breakdown of what the different things are that you'll be getting graded on, and you'll get a letter grade for each of these, so you'll get a score, but then I'll also show a letter grade, and you'll know your letter grade, and you can calculate your grade and what it would take to get, the final grade you want by using this quantitative strategy, and we could talk about that. Key thing is that throughout the semester you should be very comfortable about where you stand for a grade, and if you have any doubt about that at any time, just let me know. This is just a description of something we'll do during class, each class meeting, and that's part of you coming to class and participating in class like that. And so we'll just get that done, and I'll explain why we do it and what our goals are for that. Then everybody's going to write a term paper, and this describes the term paper. And the term paper is going to be to write a research article not a research article, write a paper about a cell surface receptor protein. And the way we're going to cover the chapters for our course is we're going to cover chapter 1, then we're going to go to chapter 7, then we're going to go to chapter, and I believe it's 16. And that chapter 16, the third chapter we cover, is about cell surface receptor proteins. And so we're going to cover these topics, but it's kind of pointless to talk about our term paper very much yet, because we're going to get to that material, and we're going to get to it quite a bit before our first exam. So, about a third of the way into the semester, you'll have a really good handle on what you want to do for your term paper. You're not going to rely on ChatGPT or other AI tools to do the bulk of your work. You can use it in your investigation. We'll talk about that. Here's how I'm going to help show that you do the work, and that is I'm going to create 2 Google Docs that I share one with 2 of them with each of you, and I can use track changes to see the work that you've done over time, like that. And so when you submit your work, you're going to be submitting it just by having that work done on that Google Doc, and I'll take a look at it. I can see the track changes, and one of the documents is going to be like notes that you had and looking at a resource and stuff like that, and the second one is going to be working on writing your term paper. And so then we're also going to write about that topic in class, and so this describes that. And again, we'll turn back to this because this describes the term paper in some detail on our syllabus. And when we get closer to really kickstarting that work, we'll talk about it in class. This was work, though, that you'll generally be doing separate from our class time. Each student will tackle it on their own time, but we'll get going on it well before the paper is due. And you won't be able to just kick out a paper and paste it into the Google Doc using AI. We'll talk about that. Rather than putting a syllabus together that covers all our topics, I just mentioned the order we're going to cover the first 3 chapters, and I have a really good handle of how we're going to cover the chapters that we're going to cover. But rather than try to fix them to a schedule, I just put on the important dates that really matter, and we're going to have these deadlines coming up in our course. Okay? And so I think, and then there's just a little bit more. I just talked about attendance. If class is canceled, and I grew up in Minnesota, so as a kid I super loved snow days, but we don't have any snow days for this course because if class is canceled for any reason, I'll record a lecture and share the link. And for that, if that happens, you aren't required to send me your notes. But that will be that recording will be as important as if our class met. And then just be sensitive to other students. If you use a phone or laptop in the classroom, as long as it's not making a sound, it doesn't bother me at all. But if you're sitting in front of or next to a student, they can be distracted when you're on your laptop and looking at stuff to buy on Amazon, right? That's pretty distracting. So be respectful of other students in the classroom. And then USM has some really excellent services to help support you and your learning and your success, and you paid for them, right? A big part of your tuition goes to pay for support services that are going to help you succeed. And so take advantage of those, and we'll talk about those some in our classroom as well. I'm super supportive of these different resources, and so, if I can help you connect with them or do anything like that, I'll do my best. All right? And so that's our syllabus. And again, thanks for watching this. And, you can loop back to it if you have questions during the semester about parts of our course. Okay? And so that's that. All right. And welcome. Welcome. I suppose a few of you might be new to USM here in the middle of the year. If so, I'd really like to meet you, and of course I'd like to meet everybody in the class. I looked at class roster, and I know several people, but there are a bunch of people that I've never had for a class, and so it'll be exciting to get to know everybody, and we'll do that all throughout the semester. Great, super, thanks.